audible to you people? Give me a thumbs up in the chat box fast if I'm clearly visible, audible to you people. Fast. Thank you. Thanks for confirmation. So I welcome you all for this session. A very good evening to all of you. I am Dr. Priyanka Sachdev here, medical entrance educator on an academy, and today I am here to continue my series of IBQs. So daily at 4:15 p.m. we discuss 1 hour IBQ session from various subjects. We have started from pathology, but daily I discuss 10 to 15 IBQs daily till your exams of FMG. After that also I will continue the series, and I will discuss all IBQs from multiple subjects. So today the topic for IBQ is MGT, male genital system, pathology, male genital system, pathology and surgery, you can say. Male genital system IBQs are there. I have posted this IBQs on various social media yesterday, on the WhatsApp groups, on the Telegram groups, on the Facebook, on the Insta, and multiple, my followers are at multiple platforms, but very few students have replied. I'm really surprised why you people don't reply. So looking at the image, you should make your diagnosis. These are the images which are going to come in your exam. Come on, you should have a guess now, a wide guess what it is. So first you give me, I will show you 10 images first. 10 images. Looking at the image and a short history, first you have to give me your guess. Write down in the chat box what is your guess. Then I will give you the explanation for each of them, whether you are right or not. Yes or no? So just have a look. Those who have not seen on the WhatsApp and Telegram, just have a look now. So this is the first image in front of you, a 36-year-old male. The age is always important. Patient is young. You can say 36 is nearly young only, or middle-aged you can say. The patient is young or middle-aged, and the history given, he is having a left testicular mass. Looking at the image, this is the left testicular mass. Looking at the gross and the age of the patient, what is your diagnosis? So Yogesh, Murlidhar, you are right. Varsha, no Varsha, it is not testicular torsion. Varsha, if it is testicular torsion now, it should look black in color. It is not black. Now let me describe the gross here. The gross here is lobulated, homogeneous, yellowish white appearance and lobulated. So typical lobulated appearance kahan milta hai? With homogeneous yellowish appearance. Kisme milta hai? So some testicular tumor, the tumor which is common in young, not old. The patient is young or middle-aged. So it should be some germ cell tumor of the testes. So most common germ cell tumor of the testes is seminoma, which is the case here. Have you got it? So those who are saying seminoma, they are relatively right. So these are the clues given in the question. You should always catch the clues. Yes, this is the next question in front of you. Again, okay, we will discuss it with the explanation only. It will be boring for you first to discuss, to have guesses, then explanation. So I will discuss with the first question only. So this is the first question in front of you. We have already seen, this is the question which is already there in the past year papers. So a 36-year-old male with a 5-month history of dragging sensation in the scrotum, having an enlarged left testes. We have done an ultrasound of the scrotum. In the scrotum, we have done an ultrasound and we found a solid mass in the left testes. So surgeon has taken out the mass, and this is the diagram of the mass. So give your diagnosis looking at the image. So which germ cell tumor is it? First thing, is it a germ cell tumor? Yes, looking at the age of the patient. In young patient, most common testicular tumors are germ cell tumors. So which germ cell tumor is it? You should know all germ cell tumors and which one it is. Which one it is. There are 6 germ cell tumors. Can you enumerate them? What are the 6 germ cell tumors? The mnemonic is yes, PCT. Yes, PCT. What is why? It is York sac tumor, it is embryoma, it is seminoma, it is polyembryoma, it is choriocarcinoma, and it is teratoma. So out of these 6 germ cell tumor, which one it is? Most common is seminoma. Looking at the image, you should give your guess. So look at the image. It is lobulated. Can you see? It is lobulated. It is homogeneous. So typical homogeneous lobulated yellow color, young patient, testicular mass, nothing else than seminoma. So diagnosis is straightforward. It is seminoma. It is seminoma. Is the neoplasm associated with some paraneoplastic syndrome? First make the diagnosis. The diagnosis is seminoma. Okay. Does seminoma associated with some paraneoplastic syndrome? You know what is paraneoplastic syndrome? Yes. Tumor cells secrete beta HCG from it. These tumor cells secrete beta HCG in the blood, and this beta HCG causes breast enlargement in the males. So males have an enlarged breast like females. It is known as gynecomastia. So gynecomastia is the paraneoplastic syndrome which is associated with this germ cell tumor. Done. What are the risk factors of this neoplasm? So what are the risk factors which leads to this germ cell tumor? You can tell me the names. Okay, I will tell you the risk factors. Have you got it? Have you got it? Give me a thumbs up if you got it. So it is a diagram of seminoma. It is a seminoma, and peak age of occurrence is 3rd to 4th decade. So that is fitting in our mass. It is a lobulated yellowish mass. The word lobulated is important. Typically, it is lobulated. The only testicular tumor which is lobulated is seminoma. So lobulated yellowish homogeneous mass, young patient है, तो nothing other than seminoma. And beta HCG बढ़ने की वजह से patient will have gynecomastia. Patient will have gynecomastia. And risk factor is cryptorchidism, Klinefelter syndrome. These are the risk factors for seminoma. I will come on more detail of seminoma after solving this question. Solve this question also. Then we will see a little bit detail. Detail में ज़्यादा नहीं दूंगी, images ज़्यादा solve करवाऊंगी. I will give you little detail of all. So look at the image, tell me the diagnosis. The short history is in front of you. Yes. What is the diagnosis? Who will tell me? Again, 36, same history. 36-year-old male, left testicular mass. The image is changed. Instead of gross, I have given you the microscopy. Yes, Ashna, the diagnosis is same. It is seminoma. In the last, the same question. I have given a gross image. In the second question, the same history, same question with a microscopic image. So I want to show with the same question, the examiner can give you same history with 3 different images. Sometimes he can give you gross image to make the diagnosis, sometimes microscopic image to make the diagnosis, sometimes radiological image to make the diagnosis. So you should be aware of all 3 images of all disease. If you are studying any disease, you should know what is the gross image of it, what is the microscopic image of it, what is the radiological image. Not important for all diseases, but the diseases which have hallmark classical radiological image, you should be able to identify them radiologically also. In radiology, it can be X-ray, it can be CT, it can be MRI. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. So this is a way to study. This is the approach towards the IBQs. IBQs is not a one-day job कि एक दिन बैठ के marathon कर लिया चलो हो गया. It is not that thing. Done. So whatever you are studying, whenever you are studying any disease, always you have your cell phone with you. Now everyone have the cell phone. Yes, in the cell phone we all have internet. So Google is always there. Go to the Google, type seminoma gross. Go to the images. You will see various images. Type seminoma microscopy, various images. Seminoma radiology, various images. So any disease, whenever you are studying, if books are available with you, better to go and see the soft copy or hard copy of the books. If it is unable in the books, go to the Google. Google images are always with you. Done or not? So whenever, make a habit, you are studying a disease, see gross, microscopy and radiology image of that disease on that point only. So that you have to promise yourself from today. So from today, whatever disease you will study, you will see 3 images of the disease. And radiology not always important, sometimes it is important, but gross and microscopy तो सबका देखना ही पड़ेगा. Gross भी सबका इतना important नहीं है, किसी में gross ज़्यादा important है, किसी में micro, किसी में radio. So that is the thing. So anyways, look at this image. Look at this image, same history. So young patient is there, middle-aged old patient is there, left testicular mass. Look at the image. What is the hallmark of this image? You can see tumor cells. What are the tumor cells? Describe tumor cells. Let me zoom this image for you. Okay, I will zoom out the image. Don't worry. Don't worry, I will zoom out the image. Okay, listen, see, this is the image. Can you see the tumor cells? These are the tumor cells. You can see the nucleus of each cell. The cytoplasm is clear. The nucleus is central. Cytoplasm is clear. Nucleus is central. And if you or zoom करके मेरा maximum zoom है. If you zoom it more and you can see inside the nucleus, you can see a nucleoli. Inside the nucleus, you can see a nucleoli. That is the tumor cells, and tumor cells are arranged in sheet. That is number 1. You can see septa. Can you see the fibrous septa here? This is the fibrous septa. The hallmark here on the fibrous septa. This is all fibrous septa. On the fibrous septa, you can find lymphocytes. No other tumor have lymphocytes on the septa. Lymphocytes on the septa is a hallmark pathognomonic feature of seminoma. I can see these are not tumor cells. I'm marking with blue dots. These are lymphocytes. So lymphocyte on the septa, it is seminoma. Seminoma in males is equivalent to dash in females. Fill this dash. Seminoma in males is equivalent to dish, what in females? So in males, it is seminoma. In females, it is known as what? Seminoma in males is equivalent to what in females? Fill in this blank. Array, tell me, patapat. Who will tell me? Seminoma in males is equivalent to what in females? Okay, yes, Ashna, you are right. Anyone else about the apart from Ashna? Yes, it is dysgerminoma. So dysgerminoma in females and seminoma in males is one and the same thing. These are equivalent counterpart of each other. So the dysgerminoma will also have same microscopic and gross picture. Have you got it? So this microscopy is typically of seminoma. Typically of seminoma. So we have seen two IBQs. One on the gross of seminoma. In the gross, we have learned the tumor is lobulated. It is homogeneous. You can see it is homogeneous appearance. It is lobulated. It is yellowish. In the microscopic, we have learned that tumor cells are arranged in sheets. You can see this is tumor cells. The tumor cells have a clear cytoplasm. See, the tumor cells have clear cytoplasm. You can see here. The tumor cells have a central nucleus with a prominent nucleoli inside the nucleus. You can see the nucleus inside the nucleus, one dot inside each nucleus. That is nucleoli. That is nucleoli. And you can see the septa. Can you see the septa? This is the septa. Green colored I have marked. I will highlight it. So on the septa, you can see the lymphocytes. So lymphocytes on the septa is the hallmark of seminoma. That is the thing that we have learned here. So in short, the correct answer here is, these are the options. The correct answer here is seminoma. You know, seminoma. It is not a diagram of teratoma. Teratoma should show cartilage or bone in the diagram. Done. Multiple elements should be there. That is a teratoma. It is a totipotent tumor. It is not embryonal carcinoma. It is not York sac tumor. York sac tumor should show Schiller dual body. That is the hallmark of York sac tumor, and it is not shown in the diagram. So it is a typical scenario of seminoma. With two things, I am sure it is seminoma. Number one, the arrangement of the tumor cells, the morphology of the tumor cells, and number two, septa contains lymphocyte. Typically, very clearly shown in the image. The septa contains lymphocyte. Again, I am saying. Done. So that is all about seminoma. I will give you a few important points about the testicular tumors. Then I will move on IBQ number 3. I will give you little theory, not much. So classification of the tumors of the testes. Testes tumors are of how many types? You know, testicular tumors. Testicular tumors are of two types: germ cell tumors and sex cord tumors. Sex cord or stromal tumors, you can say stromal tumors. So germ cell tumors and stromal tumors. Germ cell tumors are of 6 types, as I have told you. The mnemonic is YESPCT: York sac, embryoma, seminoma, polyembryoma, choriocarcinoma, and teratoma. These are the 6 types of germ cell tumors. And stromal tumors, sex cord stromal tumors. Sex cord stromal tumors are again of 3 types: Leydig cell, Sertoli cell, granulosa cell. So total 6 plus 3, 9 tumors are there in the testes. So among those 9 tumors, if I talk about germ cell tumors, as I have told you, these are of 6 types by ESPCT. From that, seminoma ko alag chhod do. Rest all 5, that is York sac, embryoma, polyembryoma, choriocarcinoma, and teratoma, are known as non-seminomatous germ cell tumor. We take all of them together. Why? So the clinical classification, there are only 2 types of testicular tumors: seminoma and non-seminomatous germ cell tumor, NSGCT. So seminoma includes seminoma only, and NSGCT includes YEPCT. It includes 5 tumors. Why we have done this classification? Because the treatment of seminoma is entirely different from rest of the 5. So we have separated seminoma from rest of the 5. Seminoma is highly radiosensitive and chemosensitive. So the best therapy to be given in a seminoma is first radio chemo, usko pura shrink karke, then we do the surgery. And in rest of the tumors, they are radio resistant and chemo resistant. So no need to give radio and chemo to them. Directly you have to do the surgery for rest of them. Have you got it? So that is, and prognosis is also different. Seminoma have a very good prognosis and metastasis is very less. Here prognosis in these 5 is poor and metastasis is very common. Have you got it? So we are taking the bundle of 5 together, known as NSGST. That is the thing that I want to tell you here. So that is germ cell tumor. We divide in 2 portions: seminoma and non-seminoma. So seminoma में तो seminoma आएगा, non-seminoma में remaining 5 आएगा. You know the names now. Give me a thumbs up. So seminoma and non-seminomatous germ cell tumors. Seminomatous germ cell tumor, SGCT. Seminomatous germ cell tumor. Non-seminomatous germ cell tumor, NSGCT. So here, these are radiosensitive, chemosensitive. These are radio-resistant, chemo-resistant. Here prognosis is better, prognosis is poor. Their metastasis is lymph nodes and late. Here metastasis via blood and early. So I have told you the differences already. I have already told you the differences. So seminoma is equivalent to dysgerminoma in females. It is the most common germ cell tumor of the testes in males, most common. And what is the mutations in seminoma? There are 3 mutations. Question can come on this. Examiner will give you an image. Image can be gross or image can be microscopic. I have shown you both images. Whatever image, examiner will say you identify the tumor from the image, whether gross, microscopy, and tell me the mutation of this tumor. So what you will do? You should know the mutations also. So there are 3 mutations in seminoma. Chromosome number 12-5 का mutation isochromosome. Number 2 OCT3 या OCT4 या NANONG. These are the name of the genes on particular chromosome. These are mutated, or KIT gene. These are the names of the gene you have to learn for MCQs. Please mind it for one-liners. Please, grossly, the tumor is lobulated and homogeneous. Please take this word. Can you see? Typical lobulated. I have opened the testes like an open book. So this is the testes. I have cut the testes from the center and opened it like an open book structure. You can see the 2 halves. So this is one half, this is another half. And you can see the lobulated, typical lobulated yellowish homogeneous appearance. So here homogeneous appearance you can see. Give me a thumbs up. Microscopy, the tumor is divided into multiple lobules. You can see the simplified diagram. These are the septa. These are the septa. Tumor is divided into multiple lobules. You can see via the septa. Tumor cells are large with central nucleus, clear cytoplasm. You can see nucleoli inside each of them. Can you see the nucleoli inside each of them? Yes, you can see. This is a tumor cell. See the cytoplasm and see the nucleoli inside it, dot inside it. Done. And on the stroma, see the lymphocyte. Try to see the lymphocyte on the stroma. Can you see? This is stroma. This is all stroma. Septa. On the septa, these are not tumor cells. What a blue I am marking, that is septa. Uske andar cells dekho. Try to see the cells inside it. All those are lymphocytes. Can you see? All those are lymphocytes. So lymphocytes on the septa. That is the thing. Give me a thumbs up. That is a microscopy. So you can see the image here, real image. You can see septa Kupper lymphocytes. That is the hallmark. That is the hallmark. So lymphocytic infiltration of the stroma or the septa. That is the pathognomonic feature. Tumor markers. It is KIT. It is OCT. It is plaque. Learn plaque. Placental alkaline phosphate. ऑप्शन में एसिडिक फॉस्फेट भी आता है. प्लीज माइंड इट. एसिडिक फॉस्फेट को मार्क मत करना. इट इज अल्कलाइन फॉस्फेट. इट इज एएफपी नेगेटिव, एचसीजी नेगेटिव. एचसीजी रेयरली पॉजिटिव होता है. AFP and HCG are positive in non-seminomatous germ cell tumor, not in seminoma. Please mind it. Prognosis is better. It is radiosensitive. That is all about it. So this is the next question in front of you. This is the next question in front of you based on a radiological image. First question I have shown you was a gross image. Second question I have shown you is a microscopic image. This is my third image. This is a radiological image. It is Doppler. It is sonography, USG, Doppler sonography. You know what is Doppler. So I have shown you in this image 2 Dopplers. Can you see a Doppler above here? Can you see a Doppler below here? There are 2 Dopplers. You can see the line between them. If you can't see, I'm marking it. There is a line in between them. The first Doppler above one is a normal, and the second Doppler is the Doppler of the patient. For comparison, normal is given to you. If you don't know Doppler, what is Doppler? In Doppler, one of the blood vessel is seen, and the pulsatility of that blood vessel is seen in Doppler. You can see the Doppler and see the history. What is the history given in the question? There is a newborn. A newborn is born. As soon as the child is born, child is having a hard scrotal mass. So pediatrician has seen the child well. In the scrotum, pediatrician found a hard scrotal mass immediately after the birth of the child, in the newborn of course. So immediately Doppler is done. Immediately we have to do the Doppler of the scrotum of the child. We have done the scrotum Doppler and we have compared it with the normal. So the 2 Dopplers are in front of you, give you a diagnosis. So yes, Murlidhar, you are right. Anyone else apart from Murlidhar? Yes. What is the diagnosis here? What is the diagnosis? Okay, I will tell you something. So try to see here. This is the blood vessel in normal and see the pulsatility. See the pulsatility of the blood vessel during systole and diastole. This is systole में blood ज़्यादा जाता है, diastole में कम जा रहा है, लेकिन never zero. It is not zero. Then systole में ज़्यादा जा रहा है, then diastole में कम जा रहा है. Then systole में ज़्यादा जा रहा है, then diastole में कम जा रहा है. But it is never zero. So whenever heart is doing systole, blood is more. Whenever heart is not doing, it is doing diastole, the blood is less. But it is never zero. So you can see the pulsatility. Give me a thumbs up and see the blood vessel here. I can't find neither systole nor diastole. I can't find a blood here. Compare it. Now you tell me the diagnosis. What is your diagnosis? I have to ask 3 questions here. So this is the same history given here, which I have told you in short. So the newborn boy, on birth the boy was irritable and he was poorly feeding. On examination, scrotum skin was found to be fixed, having a hard scrotal mass. Ultrasound was done, Doppler was done. Lower is the patient, upper is the normal. What is your diagnosis? How does this happen? Number 2. And what is the time frame for preventing the irreversible change in the scrotum in the testes? So what is the diagnosis? Yes, any one of you. The diagnosis is torsion. Because of torsion, the blood supply of the testes is cut down. Testes is not receiving any blood. Testes is not receiving any blood. Testes is not receiving any blood. So ischemia will occur in the testes. If it is not reverted within 6 to 8 hours, if surgery is not done, irreversible ischemia will take place and testes will be damaged permanently, and the boy, when grown up, he will be infertile, or from that testes. There are 2 testes now, so that testes will not form sperm if it is unilateral. If it is unilateral, other testes will form. The boy will not be infertile, but yeah, less sperms will be there. You can say that testes is damaged. That particular testes will be damaged, and that is the thing. Have you got it? And how? What is the predisposing factor? Because as soon as the newborn is born, before fixation of the testes to the tunica, the testes can freely rotate on the spermatic cord. Because of free rotation, the testes just twist. You know what is torsion? Torsion का मतलब समझता है तुमको? Torsion का मतलब समझता है? I will show you an image for torsion. Can you see? This is normal testes. This is the spermatic cord. You can see this is the testes. This is the spermatic cord. Spermatic cord contains 3 things: artery to the testes, vein of the testes, and the spermatic cord. You know, यहाँ से जो vasa difference. Vast difference. So artery, vein, and vast difference, all of the things are present inside it. Have you got it? Now here, can you see it is rotating? It is rotating. It is rotating. It can be clockwise, it can be anti-clockwise, Muralidhar. I don't have any specific this thing whether it is clockwise or anti-clockwise. It can be both ways round. So here it is rotating. It is rotating like this. So twist is there. In the cord is twisted. So inside it, artery, vein, and vast difference all were present. I'm not interested in vast difference, but artery, vein both got twisted. So you tell me, there is artery also, there is vein also, both of them got twisted. So which will be obstructed? Whether both or only artery or only vein? You have 3 options. Which will be obstructed? Blocked. इसके अंदर आर्टरी भी ट्रेवल कर रही है, वेन भी ट्रेवल कर रही है. इफ इट इज ट्विस्टेड, अगर ये ट्विस्ट हो जाएगा तो आर्टरी विल बी ऑब्स्ट्रक्टेड और वेन विल बी ऑब्स्ट्रक्टेड और बोथ विल बी ऑब्स्ट्रक्टेड. दैट इज माय क्वेश्चन टू यू. You have to tell me the answer. You tell me the answer, what is happening. Okay, let me draw a diagram for you. This is the testes. So this is the spermatic cord. This is the, so Pramod is saying both. Muralidhar is saying first vein, first artery later. Muralidhar, you are right. Yogesh is saying both. Listen, Yogesh, Pramod, my explanation to both of you. So this is the spermatic cord. It contains artery. This is the artery. This is the artery. Let me draw artery. And this contains vein also. It contains, not twisted. So both arteries and vein will be twisted, but artery has a thick wall. Never forget, artery, the wall is thick, and the vein, the wall is thin. So whenever you will twist it like this, so the one which is having a thin wall, it will be collapsed. It will be collapsed. And the one which is having thick wall, it will remain persist. It will persist, some blood will go. So what I mean, artery remain patent. So blood is coming inside it, but vein is completely obstructed because of twisting. So blood is not going out. So blood is coming in, but not going out. So all the blood will get accumulated here. The blood which is accumulated here is impure because vein is not getting rid of impure blood. So impure blood will accumulate. Testes will get congested, severely congested. And there is highly painful condition. It is edematous, congested, painful, severe painful, hard. Badi ho jayegi testes. It is a painful condition. And the next thing what I want to say here, yeah, because of impure blood getting collected there will be necrosis known as hemorrhagic necrosis. And slowly, because fresh blood is not coming also, stasis of blood is there, hemorrhagic necrosis takes place, and necrosis is the permanent death of the testes. So testes is destroyed slowly in the next 6 to 8 hours. Give me a thumbs up. Everyone give me a thumbs up. Have you got it? That is the twisting. That is the twisting of the testes. So what is the answer here? So looking for that, we do the Doppler. It is visible on the Doppler. So pulsatility of the vein is seen. So you can see a vein of a normal testicular vein here of a normal person. This is normal person. We can see that pulsatility. Please appreciate the systole and diastole here on the vein. This is testicular vein. And please see the pulsatility here in the patient. In the patient, there is no zero pulsatility. Pulsatility is absent. So that is vein is obstructed. Vein is obstructed in torsion. So my answer is torsion. Give me a thumbs up, everyone. And what is the time frame? 6 to 8 hours. You have to do the surgery. You are a surgeon. You have to do the surgery and reverse the torsion. And again, rebuild the blood flow. If you can't rebuild the blood flow, testes will be necrosed permanently. Give me a thumbs up. I want thumbs up from each of you, everyone. So that one more question. It is not image-based question. It is a clinical question. So I will read the question based on the same scenario. Why I have put the two questions together, you will come to know. Okay. So it is not a newborn. It is a 19-year-old male. It is a young boy. 19-year-old male accident ho gaya. He has got a road traffic accident and he is brought to the emergency department and he is having severe testicular pain. Severe. You are in the testicular, there in the emergency department. There is a patient on the stretcher. He is a young boy. He is a victim of road traffic accident. Imagine it is in front of you. And patient is complaining, I am having severe unilateral testicular pain, which is radiating to the abdomen. There is no history of trauma or injury to the testes. Accident में trauma या history injury testes को नहीं हुआ है. On examination, you found his right testes is enlarged and very tender. Whenever you are touching the right testes, there is severe pain to the patient. And there is no fever. Patient is not, negative finding is equally important. Patient is not having the liver. So you have acute scrotum. The diagnosis is acute scrotum. But what is the cause of this acute scrotum? Was clinically made and a right-sided orchidectomy was performed. So you have taken the patient to the OT and right-sided testes is taken out. Histological section shows interstitial edema is there. Hemorrhage is there inside the testes. And lymphovascular congestion and infarction is there. No vasculitis is there. What is the diagnosis? What is your diagnosis? The options are in front of you. So it is a relatively very easy question. Yes, the answer is same. It is testicular torsion only. It is not architis. Itis means inflammation. Inflammation of the testes nahi hai because patient is not having fever. In orchitis, patient should have fever. Should have. Orchitis may be due to virus or bacteria, no? So patient should have. Usually mumps virus causes orchitis. So here orchitis is not the diagnosis. Testicular hematoma में इतना severe pain नहीं होगा और hematoma में infarction नहीं होगा. Vasculitis में नहीं. So all the things are fitting only in one condition, that is testicular torsion. Everyone give me a thumbs up. So on torsion we have done two questions. Number one, the image-based question of the Doppler, and number two, this case scenario based. Give me a thumbs up. Everyone give me a thumbs up. So twisting of the spermatic cord is known as torsion. Twisting on itself. And this is the gross. और वो दोनों image हटा के ये question लगा दो. The third question I can frame like this. Third question, I can, the same history, whether the newborn boy, 19-year-old boy, age can be anything here. So I can put this image. This is a typical black testes. So black testes is infarcted. Infection already occurred. It is infarction or necrosis already occurred. It is past 6 to 8 hours पहले हुआ है torsion. And if you have not corrected it, testes is gone. It is already infarcted, you can see. So what is the diagnosis? It is due to torsion. Due to torsion, this image of testes, learn this also. I forgot to frame a question on it. I can frame it right now. So look at the image and frame your own question. No? The question can come on this image also. Done or not? Should I proceed ahead? That is torsion. Yeah, two things are there. Listen, if a patient is coming to you, you are a doctor, a male patient is coming to you with scrotal pain, unilateral scrotal pain, severe unilateral scrotal pain. You have two differentials. Either it can be torsion, either it can be due to torsion of that side testes, unilateral is there, no? Maybe right or left, or it is orchitis, inflammation of the testes. Inflammation में भी तो severe pain होता है. Orchitis or epididymitis? Epididymitis. Testes is attached to epididymitis, no? Epididymis. So inflammation of both occurs together. Orchitis, epididymis occurs always together. So what is your diagnosis? Diagnosis making it very specific here, because if it is torsion, emergency surgery is the treatment. Emergency surgery. Don't think. Don't waste time. Just take the consent of the relatives and take the patient to the surgery. Because within 6 to 8 hours, you have to restore the blood. Otherwise, testes will be gone forever. That is the treatment. If it is orchitis, epididymitis, start antibiotics. Don't do surgery. Start antibiotics. So what you will give? Whether you will give, patient is in front of you. Patient is complaining, जोर से चिल्ला रहा है, patient, I am having severe scrotal pain. Doctor, do something. So what you will do? What you will do? Severe unilateral scrotal pain. So what you will do? You will see at your hospital setup whether USG is available or not. Doppler USG is available or not. If Doppler USG is available, send the patient immediately on the stretcher. He can't walk. He's having severe pain. Send the patient to the Doppler. If in Doppler, I have shown you the image that pulsatility is absent, diagnosis is clear, it is torsion, take it to the surgery. If pulsatility is maintained, it is not absent, then it is orchitis. Start with antibiotics, either oral or IV. IV will be better. That is the thing. If USG doctor is not available at your setup, you are working in a village, USG machine hai nahi, you are working in a OPD or in the hospital, USG machine is not there, or machine is there but radiologist is not there. It is an emergency. You can't wait for the radiologist for the next 5 hours, 6 hours. Radiologist not available. Today is on leave. There is no radiologist available there. So what you will do? You have to diagnosis have to be made clinically. Open, no Muralidhar, first confirm the diagnosis before open. Open कर दिया, torsion हुआ तो ठीक है, torsion नहीं निकला, patient will sue you Muralidhar. So without confirming, you can't open the patient. Yes. So clinically, first do a gross confirmation. Done. So gross, there are two signs. Number one, Freon sign. What is Freon sign? Just elevate the scrotum. Just make the patient naked and just wear the gloves and elevate the scrotum. On elevating the scrotum, two things can happen. Pain can increase, pain can decrease. If pain is increasing on elevating the scrotum, if the pain is increasing, it is torsion. And if it is decreasing, it is acute epidural. That is known as Freon sign. Have you got it? Why pain will increase in torsion and pain will decrease in orchitis on elevating and manually lifting the scrotum? Why? Because when you lift it now, the torsion may or you are elevating it. You are elevating it on a palm. You are elevating it. So the torsion will increase more on elevating it, and on elevating the patient will feel a relief if it is inclination. So that is Freon sign number one. And number two sign is damming sign. You will study all this in surgery also. So that is damming sign. In damming sign, you will examine the patient. You will find a lump at external abdominal ring in case of torsion. You know, in torsion the testes is relatively high as compared to other testes. So you can compare it. This is just higher. So you can find a lump here at the external inguinal ring. You will find a lump of the testes. In case of torsion, it is relatively higher. But in case of orchitis, it is at the same level as compared to other testes. Give me a thumbs up if you got it. So the two signs I have told you to differentiate without USG. The best is to do Doppler. Without Doppler, you can't do it. So that is a broad guess. So for that, you have two things, Freon sign and Dampic sign. Give me a thumbs up, everyone. Should I move ahead? This is the next question in front of you. IBQ number 4, be fast, time is limited, be fast. So you can see, I have shown you diagram of two testes, bilateral testes of one patient. 10-year-old boy is there. Boy is otherwise healthy, otherwise absolutely all right. Only one problem with the boy. He's a 10-year-old boy, he's a kid. He's having only one problem. He's absolutely healthy. He's having no other complaint. Only one testis is palpable in the scrotum. Other testis is not palpable since the childhood. Since his birth, he's having only one testis palpable in the scrotum. So what we have done, we have taken both the testes out of the body. The image of both the testes is given to you. What is your diagnosis? Yes, again, Muralidhar is right. What others are doing? Apart from Muralidhar, others should also give your guesses now. What is the guess? Why only one testis is there in the scrotum? Where is the other testis? So that testis is present in the scrotum, which is palpable. Where is this testis? This testis is present where? And what it is showing? Why it is smaller than the other testis? Give me the whole thing now. Pramod. So undescended testes. Yes, Pramod. The term you are right. Undescended testes. Yes, Richard, you are also right. The undescended testes only is known as cryptorchidism. So in scientific term, the undescended testes, the terminology used is cryptorchidism. So better to say cryptorchidism as compared to undescended testes. Both have same meaning. Yes, undescended testes Milan. But better to say the term. The term is cryptorchidism. So say cryptorchidism instead of undescended testes. Done. So I have to ask you 3 questions here. 4 questions. What is the abnormal testes? Which is the abnormal from them? So I can see this is a normal testes. See the texture. See the color. See the size. See the color. That is a normal testes. And this one is abnormal. Where was the abnormal testes located? In the scrotum, you find only one now. So ये वाली कहाँ पर है body में? What is this location? ये body में कहाँ पे है? Scrotum में तो नहीं है, of course. तो scrotum में नहीं है, तो it is present somewhere above the scrotum in the abdomen. So it is present either in the abdomen or pelvis. Will this patient will be infertile after puberty? Will this patient will be infertile? Yes or no? What is your answer? What is the long-term complication of the undescended testes? अगर testes undescended भी रहे तो what is the problem? What is the problem? Now listen, in a male human body's testes lie in an external pouch known as scrotum. Both the testes lie in external pouch known as scrotum. Testes do not lie inside pelvis. It doesn't lie inside the abdomen. Why it lies outside the body in a separate sac known as scrotum? Why? Because inside testes sperm formation takes place. This is the sperm. Sperm formation takes place inside the testes. Formation of sperm requires temperature which is less than 2 degrees than the core body temperature. Normal human body have 37 degrees Celsius of the temperature, you know. So this is the normal. Sperm formation cannot take place at this temperature. That's why testes are placed outside the body. So testes are relatively cool as compared to rest of the body temperature. So sperm formation takes place inside it. That is the reason why testes are outside the body in a human male, in a normal human male, in a separate sac known as scrotum. That is the reason. So normally, but testes are formed where? Where they are formed? The testes are formed in the abdomen. Just a second. Testes are formed in the abdomen. Here it is. Okay. You can see testes here. The testes is formed in the abdomen here. And slowly it gradually descend down, and ultimately it come in the scrotum like this. Ultimately it come in the scrotum like this. So when it will come in the scrotum, so you see at the 7th month of the gestation, this is the position. At 8th month of gestation, this is the position. At 9th month of gestation, finally just before birth, testes come in the scrotum. So if any male child is born prematurely in the 7th month or 8th month, the scrotum may be empty, because it comes in the scrotum just before term at 9 months of the gestation, and it is formed in the abdomen. Sometimes the testes do not descend and वो बीच में ही कहीं अटक जाती है. The term is known as cryptorchidism. So what is cryptorchidism? It is partial or complete failure of the intra-abdominal testes to descend into the scrotum. So testes are remaining in abdomen only. They are not coming down in the scrotum. It can be unilateral. It can be bilateral. It can be partial failure or complete failure. Maybe कि थोड़ा सा डिसेंट हो और बीच में अटक जाए, यहाँ से यहाँ तक आए और यहाँ अटक जाए, और maybe शुरू ही ना हो डिसेंट होना. So anything can happen. Done. So normally testes are formed in the retroperitoneum in the posterior abdominal wall, and it comes down. It is guided by gubernaculum into the scrotum. It comes down. But here in cryptorchidism, it is not coming down. You see, this is the path. This is the normal testes. This is the normal testes. This is the path it follows for coming down. So in this path, somewhere in this path only, it is hindered and it is blocked. There only it is not coming down from its path. So that is the thing. So where it is there. What is the location? In most of the cases, it is inguinal, and in 25% of the cases, it is abdominal. So somewhere it can be there. So that is the thing. What is the problem? What are the reasons why it is not descending down? Maybe the reason is mechanical. Maybe short spermatic cord is there. Maybe genetic, trisomy 13, Patau syndrome, or maybe hormonal, deficient androgen secretion. These can be the reasons. Grossly, the testes is atrophic. This testes is atrophic. It is small. In our question, I have shown you two testes. One was normal size, other one was small. So grossly, this testes is small, which is present in the abdomen. It is small. It is atrophic. And histologically, it will not form sperms. You can see the diagram. It is not forming. You can see the seminiferous tubules. These are the seminiferous tubules in the cryptorchidism testes. The membrane of the seminiferous tubule is fibrosed. It is hyalinized. Membrane is thick, and inside them you can see inside them the germ cells are few in number, and there is no sperm formation. Sperm formation is absent, and Leydig cells are increased in number. This is Leydig cells. Sertoli cells are there, Leydig cells are there, but germ cells are absent. Azoospermia is there. Sperm will not be formed. So that is the thing. So compare it with normal. This is normal testes. See the sperms inside it. Can you appreciate the sperms? Let me zoom it out to show you the sperms in a normal testes. Let me fix the frame. So can you see? These are the sperms. These all are sperms in the lumen of the seminiferous tubule. And see here, there is no sperm formation. All the lumens are empty. Give me a thumbs up. So sperms are not formed. So what will happen? Clinically, the patient is asymptomatic. In our question also, the boy was healthy. He was having no complaint. But there can be problem with sterility and infertility. So patient is not infertile, patient is sterile, you can say. You know the differences between them. Yes, because the other testes is normal. Now, other testes is normal. So because other testes is normal, so infertility may not be there, but sterility can be the issue. Yes, or inguinal hernia may be a chance. But the most common complication which can occur in future, abdominal testes have 50 times more risk of having malignancy, especially seminoma, as compared to normal testes. So normally testes are present in scrotum. This is the thing. If testes is present in scrotum, there is no risk of having malignancy. But if testes is present in abdomen, there is 50 times more risk of developing malignancy. Which malignancy? Seminoma. So you have to take this testes and fix it into the scrotum surgically. The treatment is surgery. So name of the surgery is orchipaxy. Orchipaxy is the name of the surgery. So you have to fix the testes via surgery. That is the treatment, orchipaxy. So when you will do the surgery, what is the age of the boy? From the childhood only, from the birth only. He is not having one testes. He is having only one testes in the scrotum. Other is present inside the abdomen. So parents got worried. Parents get your child to you. You are a pediatric surgeon. And parents got your child to you. Doctor, my baby boy is having only one testes in the scrotum. What to do? What to do? You will palpate. Yes, only one testes is there. You will do imaging. You will confirm where is the location of other testes. The other testes is inside the abdomen. So of course you will explain the parents that there is a risk of malignancy in future to your boy. Seminoma is the most common malignancy. That is the most common risk. Second, sterility can be the issue. Infertility will not be there, but when puberty will be there at 13 years of age, sterility may be the issue and hernia is the risk. So three problems can happen in future. So you have to do the surgery. So when? Now most of the cases during 1 year, the testes descend down automatically spontaneously. No need to do the surgery. So wait for 1 year. Wait for 1 year whether the testes is coming spontaneously or not. If it is not coming, after 1 year also, do surgery as soon as possible after 1 year. So after the first birthday of the child, as the boy crosses first birthday, plan the surgery. So between 1 to 2 years, you should do the surgery. Do not delay more than 2 years. Do not delay it more than 2 years. And if you are delaying it, then maybe you can do the surgery at 10 years also, 15 years also, 20 years also. There is no limit. You can do. But whatever time after 1 year, you will do the surgery, it will not decrease the chances of malignancy. तुमने ऊपर से उठा के नीचे रख भी दिया तो the testes which is coming down in the scrotum after 2 years or 1 year, that will have 50 times more risk of malignancy. Whether you place it in the abdomen only or whether you place it in the scrotum, the chances of malignancy is fairly high after that. So you have to do the surgery as soon as possible after first year. Wait for 1 year for spontaneous descent. If it is not descending, do the surgery. Give me a thumbs up, everyone. Everyone, give me a thumbs up. What is cross antibody you are asking, Muralidhar? I didn't got it. Elaborate your question. I didn't got your question, Muralidhar. So this is the question in front of you. Now solve the question. Now solve the question. See the question. Now solve the question. A 10-year-old, otherwise healthy boy is there, having only one testes palpable in the scrotum. Both the testes are shown here. Both the testes. Which testes is abnormal? Of course, the smaller one is abnormal. This one. This one. This is atrophic. This is small. This is atrophic. What is the abnormality? Abnormality is cryptorchidism. Where the testes is located? It is located in the abdomen. Mostly it is located in the abdomen in the inguinal canal. So somewhere in the inguinal canal. Will this patient will be infertile after puberty? No, the patient will not be infertile. What is the long-term complication? It is the seminoma, malignancy or seminoma. So I have answered all the questions. The abnormality is cryptorchidism. Anywhere from the lower abdominal cavity to the inguinal ring, the testes can be present. The normally descended testes is producing the sperms. So sperm count might be reduced. So fertility is still possible. So patient is not infertile, but patient is sterile. Done. And testicular carcinoma, especially the seminoma, is the risk. Everyone, give me a thumbs up. Everyone, give me a thumbs up. No, Muralidhar, autoantibodies is not an issue here. Autoantibodies will not be an issue. Done. Should I proceed to the next IBQ? That was the IBQ number 4. Let me move on IBQ number 5. Fast. Just a second. Give me 1 minute. I will move on. This is IBQ number 5. See the question. Read the question. Give your guesses. Fast. See the question. What is the question given? 22-year-old male child. Azoospermia. Patient is having azoospermia. Patient testes are not forming the sperm. Azoospermia in a young child. He's about to marriage. So he got worried that I am azoospermic. So how my fertility is the issue. So how I should get the married. So he's a 22-year-old male child having azoospermia. and you are a doctor, you have done the testicular biopsy. You have ordered the biopsy to know the diagnosis, what is the problem. So this is the biopsy given to you. Diagnosis. Looking at the biopsy, tell me the diagnosis. So what you can see in the biopsy, no one is answering. What you can see in the biopsy, you can see multiple seminiferous tubules. The seminiferous tubules are relatively small in size, and inside all of them, let me zoom it out, inside none of them I can find the sperm. Inside none of them I can find the sperm. Inside none of them. They are empty from inside. I cannot find. That's why he's having azoospermia, right? So testicular seminiferous tubules are small in number and background is showing fibrosis. So this is atrophic testes. So my diagnosis is atrophic testes. Atrophic testes is a disease because of which seminiferous tubules are not forming sperms inside. So the diagnosis, what is the diagnosis? What can be the cause and what cause can be excluded by the sexual development? Read the question again. I would like to read the complete question. Here मैंने short में history दी थी, मैं complete question एक बार पढ़ना चाहूंगी यहाँ पे. So during the workup of a primary infertility, a 22-year-old boy is in front of you having a normal sexual development. Rest of the sexual development is normal. That is, he's having beard, he's having mustache, he's having pubic hair. So rest of the secondary sexual development is normal apart from one thing. And bilaterally testes are descended in the scrotum. You can palpate both the testes are present in the scrotum. He's having beard well. He's having normal health, height, good looking young boy with a beard, with a mustache and with a masculine structure. Only problem, you have done a semen analysis is azoospermia. He wants to become a parent, but he's unable to do so. Maybe he's married. Done. And he is unable to show the fertility. I'm sorry. So that is the problem. You have ordered a testicular biopsy, otherwise normally looking boy. All the secondary sexual characters are normal. So what is your diagnosis looking at this? What is the cause of this? And what cause you have excluded looking at the history? Yes. Who will answer me? Klinefelter. Okay, let me see. Okay, Klinefelter can be there. One of the reason. Okay, you are right. So testes are atrophic. The testes, because the seminiferous tubules are completely atrophic, they are small and there is no sperm inside even single seminiferous tubules. Okay, the reason can be Klinefelter. Yes, Klinefelter male has secondary sexual characters well developed. Even these males are much taller as compared to normal. Otherwise, height is very good. They have a good height, they have good beard, they have good mustache, good pubic hairs. Everything secondary sexual characters are good. Apart from one thing, they are azoospermic. Their testes are not producing sperms, so they cannot be fertile. They cannot reproduce, you can say. That is the problem. Done. And the cause which we can exclude here is hypopituitarism. You know what is hypopituitarism? So there is pituitary. This is pituitary. This is pituitary. Pituitary secrete hormones that goes to the testes, right? That goes to the testes. This is testes. These are the testes. From pituitary, LH and FSH comes. LH and FSH comes, and this LH and FSH comes to the testes, and testes synthesize testosterone, and this testosterone causes secondary sexual characters. So secondary sexual characters are due to testosterone hormone, that is beard, mustache, pubic hair. Since our patient have normal secondary sexual characters, so testosterone must be normal inside his body. Since the testosterone is normal inside his body, so LH, FSH is normal inside the body. So there is no hypopituitarism to this patient. Sometimes those patients which have hypopituitarism, so pituitary is not normally developed, LH, FSH is absent, so testes have atrophic, but testosterone is also absent. And because testosterone is absent, so secondary sexual character do not develop. So there is second group of the patient who are azoospermic as well as absence of secondary sexual character. That is due to hypopituitarism, which is not the case in our patient because our patient have well developed secondary sexual characters. So we can rule out hypopituitarism from this scenario. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you got it, what I mean to say. Give me a thumbs up. In this patient, secondary sexual characters are well developed, so testosterone is normal. Testosterone is normal. Ulta jao. सेकेंडरी सेक्सुअल कैरेक्टर अच्छे हैं तो टेस्टोस्टेरोन अच्छा है, टेस्टोस्टेरोन अच्छा है तो एफएसएच एलएच अच्छा है, एफएसएच एलएच अच्छा है तो पिट्यूटरी अच्छा है, पिट्यूटरी अच्छा है तो हाइपोपिट्यूटिज्म नहीं होगा ना उसको. दैट इज व्हाट. गिव मी अ थम्स अप एवरीवन गिव मी अ थम्स अप. कमिंग ऑन द नेक्स्ट IBQ. टाइम इज लिमिटेड ना. Coming on the next IBQ. So 75-year-old male, age is always important. 75-year-old male is there. So a grandfather age patient is coming to your clinic and saying, doctor, I'm having difficulty in urination. I'm having increased frequency of urination. Again and again, I'm going to the toilet for urination. But whenever I'm starting the urine, I'm having dribbling only. I'm feeling my bladder is full from inside and lots of urine will come when I will go to the toilet. But whenever I start the act of micturition, whenever I start passing urine, and whenever I start micturition, only drop, drop, drop dribbling is coming. So it takes minutes or hours by me to pass the complete urine. That is the problem, and that is happening very frequently, and I'm having increased frequency, and main complaint is dribbling. What is your diagnosis? What is this organ given? So the cause is given in front of you. What is this organ? Identify the organ first for this condition. Which organ is responsible for the patient this cause, this condition? What is the yes, Richard? You are right. Yes, Yogesh, you are right. Nimisha, you are right. Subhajit, Murlithar, you all are right. Good, good. I'm happy. The organ here is prostate. So prostate को cut करके दिखाया है. So you can see the prostate. How I have identified this is a prostate? It is a white-looking circular gland having a urethra in between. I can find out the hole for the urethra also. Yes. So this is a urethral opening. I can find it out. So urethral opening. So this is prostate. So what is the? This is the same question in front of you. 75-year-old male, 10-year history. So it is a gradual thing. Again, question में 10 years से उसको ये problem है. It is not acute. Acute होता तो हम cancer सोचते. So it is chronic. 10 year is important क्योंकि cancer 10 year wait नहीं करेगा. It is something benign because it is from 10 years. So you will ask कि uncle, from how many years you are having this problem? So the patient will say, I am having this problem since 5-10 years, beta. So it is a long history. Yes. So of course it is a benign thing, right? So patient is having increasing difficulty in urination, increased frequency, increased hesitancy in urination. You know the term hesitancy in urination. Patient wants to pass the urine, but urine is not coming out. Urine is hesitating from coming out. So that is a history given typically by the patient to us. Dribbling of the urine. What is the cause of the symptoms? You know. So what is the diagnosis? Number one. So you all are right. The diagnosis is BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. Benign prostatic hypertrophy, hyperplasia. What is the therapy you will give that will target the hormonal mechanism associated with this condition? What is the hormonal problem associated with this condition which leads to this condition? And what complication can occur if you left it untreated? What complication will occur if you left it untreated? What will happen? So 3 questions. One का answer तो हो गया. It is BPH. You all are right. It is BPH. Benign prostatic hyperplasia is there. What is the hormonal therapy you will offer? Yes. The name of the drug, Murlithar, you are right. But say the composition. What it is? It is 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. It is 5-alpha. I will explain you. ये कहाँ से आया? I will explain you. Don't worry. And if you don't treat it, listen. Where is prostate present? You know, this is kidney. This is kidney. These are the 2 kidneys. This is ureter of right and left kidney. This is urinary bladder. Both the ureters are opening here, and this is urethra. This is urethra. At the commencement of the urethra from the bladder, here is the prostate gland present. See the location of the prostate gland. It is a circular gland. It is present just at the start of the urethra, and there is a hole for the urethra inside it. I have shown you the urethral opening. So it is a circular gland. It is present only in males, not females. So normally it is present, and why God has given the prostate to the males? Because prostate will form prostatic secretions, and those prostatic secretions will be coming in the urethral opening. From the urethra, sperms are also coming out. So along with the sperm, prostatic secretion will also coming out. They will provide nutrition and nourishment to the sperms. That is why prostate gland is present in the normal males. Done. What will happen due to any reason? This prostate gland got enlarged. Due to hypertrophy and hyperplasia, it got enlarged. The condition is known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH. It is a benign condition in which the size of this prostate is getting enlarged. So surgically, you have to remove the gland. You have to remove the gland surgically. If you have not treated it, it will compress the urethra. It will compress the urethra. So when you see the urethra in the center will be compressed. Urethra in the center will be compressed. So urine present in the bladder, when the bladder will be full, it cannot come out easily. That is the complaint of our patient, that is dribbling of urine, increased frequency of urine or difficulty in urine. That is the reason why dribbling of urine. And if you don't treat it now, the urine will backflow. If it can't come forward again and again, urine will reflux. It will do the backflow, and because of backflow, it will cause recurrent urinary tract infection. Patient will have UTI because of stasis of urine inside the kidney, and bilateral renal failure chronically. Chronically, both the kidneys will fail because of again and again infection. So bilateral chronic renal failure can be there. Recurrent UTI can be there. Give me a thumbs up if you got the whole history. Now I will tell you one more thing, why the size of this gland is increasing. Hyperplasia hua kyun? What is the hormonal change? Everyone give me a thumbs up. Everyone give me a thumbs up. You got it till now. One more question we will solve. Then I will give you the detail of this. See this question also. The same question. In the first question, I have given you the gross image. This gross image. So this question, the same question I am giving you again. This is the gross image. In the second question, I am giving you the microscopic image. Now read the question. 81-year-old male, again an old male with an enlarged prostate gland. PSA is increased. Prostate biopsy is done. It is in front of you. Diagnosis. See the biopsy. See the biopsy. What you can see in the biopsy? I can see the glands in the biopsy. The glands in the biopsy are showing papillary projections. So these papillary projections are the hallmark. These are not seen in carcinoma. These are seen in BPH. Can you see the papillary projections of the gland? Papillary projections of the gland. These papillary projections of the gland. Papillary. So this is giving the diagnosis of BPH. BPH. So the diagnosis here is BPH. Is it a pre-malignant condition? No, it is a benign condition. BPH is benign, it is not pre-malignant. PSA is elevated? Yes, PSA is elevated in both. BPH also, cancer also. I will give you the whole history now. So yes, it is a benign condition, it is not a precancerous condition, and I will give you the detail. So you know prostate gland. Can you see? This is the prostate gland, and this is the urethra in the center. You see, when prostate is enlarging, it is compressing the urethra. It is compressing the urethra. Can you see? This is the bladder. This is the bladder. This is the prostate gland. This is the urethra. It is compressing the urethra. Have you seen it? It is sizes. Now you have to understand lobes and zones. There are 5 lobes and there are 3 zones. The two things are separate. Many students have this confusion. They ask me this doubt again and again. Don't get confused. Listen, if I divide the entire prostate into lobes, I will divide it into 5 things. Can you see the 5 things? Ye wala diagram dekho. See this diagram. If I am cutting the prostate and looking from above, I can see this is the green color is the anterior lobe. Can you see? This is anterior lobe. This is anteriorly present. This is the anterior of the patient. This is the anterior. The blue color is the posterior. Okay, I found posterior also. The pink color, purple color, pink color is the middle zone. So anterior, posterior, middle, and the 2 lateral zones. These are the 2 lateral. Count total 5. So anterior, posterior, middle, 2 lateral. So this is the prostate gland. I am cutting it and looking from above. So 1 anterior, 1 posterior, 1 middle, 2 lateral. In the middle lobe, I can found a hole. That is urethral opening. Give me a thumbs up, everyone. This was easy. These are the 5 lobes. 1 anterior, 1 posterior, 1 middle, and 2 lateral. Total 5 lobes are there. Just remember, everyone give me a thumbs up. Let me tell you the zones. Let me tell you the zones. Now again, this is prostate. This is bladder. This is urethra. And this is prostate. Again, I am cutting the prostate from here and looking from above. So let me draw a diagram. This is the prostate. This is in the center. This is the urethral opening. I have cut it and looking from above. So this is the central zone. This is the central zone. I will write it as C. This is central zone. This is peripheral zone. At most periphery, this is peripheral. P as peripheral. और उन दोनों के बीच में जो है ना, that is transitional. So there are 3 zones: central, peripheral, and transitional. And if I divide it into the same diagram, if you want me divide it into lobes also, मैम इसी को divide करो काट के. So this is anterior. From where I bring इतने colors कहाँ से लाऊं? ये anterior है. The yellow one is anterior. The green one is posterior. This is posterior. This is posterior. The blue one is the middle. This one is middle. And these 2 are lateral. These 2 are lateral. So I have drawn the zones and lobes in one diagram. I tried. At least I tried. So there are 5 lobes: anterior, posterior, middle, lateral, 2 lateral. And there are 3 zones: central, peripheral, transitional. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. These are 2 separate classifications. Don't try to merge them. Don't try to merge them. These are 2 separate classifications of the prostate. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. So कौन से लोब और कौन से जोन में क्या होता है? कौन से लोब और कौन से जोन में क्या होता है? बीपीएच और कैंसर 2 चीजें हैं ना. बीपीएच कहाँ होता है, कैंसर कहाँ होता है? You have to learn that. You have to learn that. Okay, I will draw again. So this is the prostate. This is the prostate. Okay, this is the urethra. This is the urethra. In the first diagram, I will draw the lobes. This is anterior. This is posterior. This is middle. This is middle. And these 2 are lateral. These 2 are lateral. These are the 5 lobes you can see. Done. And here I will draw the zones. This is central. This is central. This is peripheral. This is peripheral. और दोनों के बीच में this is transitional. So let me talk about BPH first. I will mark BPH with red color. BPH कहाँ पे present होता है? So BPH is present in the middle lobe and transitional zone. If you talk about lobe, it is the middle lobe. BPH is present in the middle lobe. This is the middle lobe. If you talk about zone, it is the transitional zone. It is the transitional zone. Give me a thumbs up. रेड कलर से मैंने बीपीएच मार्क किया है. लोब में भी देख लो, जोन में भी देख लो. लोब में पूछोगे तो मीडियल लोब और जोन में पूछोगे तो ट्रांजिशनल जोन. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट बीपीएच. नाउ आई विल मार्क कैंसर. कैंसर को भी लोब और जोन दोनों में मार्क करके दिखाऊंगी. इससे ज्यादा क्रिस्टल क्लियर कोई नहीं पढ़ाएगा. डन. सो कैंसर, आई एम टेलिंग यू कैंसर इज प्रेजेंट इन पीपी, posterior zone, posterior lobe. So cancer is present in the posterior lobe here and peripheral zone here. So that is cancer, prostatic cancer. That is posterior lobe, peripheral zone. That is cancer. Give me a thumbs up. I really tried hard. Many MCQs come from this concept only. कभी को लोब पूछ लेंगे, कभी जोन पूछ लेंगे, कभी बीपीएच का पूछ लेंगे, कभी कैंसर का पूछ लेंगे. चारों चीजें याद करनी है. Have you understood? Do you understand Hindi? Yes or no? So you have to learn 4 things: BPH, lobe, zone, cancer, lobe, zone. Done. Pack. Done. Should I pack it? Okay, done. So that is the thing. Now let me tell you the histology of BPH. This is a normal prostate gland. In normal prostate, let me extend the time. Okay. In a normal prostate gland, you can see the glands. There are multiple glands. All the glands are bilayered. They are bilayered. And see, the background contains the stroma. Try to appreciate the stroma in the background. This is the stroma in the background. The background has the stroma, fibromuscular stroma. This is a normal prostate gland. Now there are 2 diseases, BPH and cancer. You can see the BPH here. This is the diagram of BPH. I will come on the diagram. Understand the mechanism. There is a hormone known as 5-alpha reductase. Now, as I have told you, in this diagram, there are 2 cells. The first cell is the cell of a gland. That is known as glandular cell. And the second cell is the cell of the stroma, which is present in the background. That is known as stromal cell. So this is diagram from Robbins. Both cells are shown. This is glandular cell. Epithelial cells means glandular cell. And this is the stromal cell. Both the diagrams are there. Both the diagrams you can see. This is prostate. Patient also have testes. Now 2 testes are there. Testes will form testosterone. Testosterone will be secreted in blood. Via blood, this testosterone is carried to the prostate. So this testosterone, can you see the red color molecule is the testosterone? It is coming via blood from testes to the prostate. तो प्रोस्टेट के दोनों सेल के अंदर टेस्टोस्टेरोन घुसेगा. Testosterone is entering in both cells of the prostate. That is glandular cell also, epithelial cell also, and stromal cell also. But the thing is, stromal cell has an enzyme known as 5-alpha reductase type 2. 5-alpha reductase type 2 enzyme is present in stromal cell. It is absent in glandular cell. Please learn these concepts. Since this enzyme converts testosterone into dihydrotestosterone, DHT. So DHT, where they are formed? Is it formed in epithelial cell? No, it is formed in stromal cell because 5-alpha reductase enzyme is present in stromal cell. So this DHT is formed in stromal cell and via blood. Later on, it comes to glandular cell also. So it is acting on both cells, but it is formulated in stromal cell. Have you got it? After that, it enters the nucleus of both cells. It is formed there, और वहां से यहाँ भी आ जाएगा. It is entering in the nucleus of both. After entering in the nucleus of both, there are androgen receptors, androgen genes, which got stimulated because of this DHT. Those androgen genes will form growth hormone, and because of growth hormone, there is proliferation, repeated mitosis of this cell also, and proliferation and repeated mitosis of this cell also. So in this gland, the glandular cell as well as background stromal cell, both will show hyperplasia, repeated mitosis. So the glands enlarge in size. Give me a thumbs up. So what treatment you will give? You will offer 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. As I have told you, 5-alpha reductase inhibitor they do patient को in the form of tablet. What it will do? 5-alpha reductase inhibitor will inhibit the enzyme. So when testosterone enters, it will not get converted into DHT and it will not form the growth hormone. So growth hormone नहीं बनेगा तो proliferation नहीं होगा, size और नहीं बढ़ेगा. जितना बढ़ गया उसको कम नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन और नहीं बढ़ेगा. So 5-alpha reductase inhibitor, you can say it is a prevention. It is a prevention. Disease और नहीं बढ़ेगा आगे. Give me a thumbs up. Everyone, give me a thumbs up. Everyone, give me a thumbs up. Those who are listening. Have you got it? So that is the thing. Here you can see this is BPH. It is present in the medial lobe. And this is cancer. It is present in the peripheral lobe. It is present in medial lobe And transitional zone, it is present in peripheral lobe and peripheral zone, posterior lobe and peripheral zone. Now listen, this is benign. This one is benign. One more thing I would like to tell here. This is benign. This is malignant. ये benign है, ये medium lobe में है ना, so it is obstructing the urethra. See, this is the opening of the urethra. So it is obstructing urethra very soon. As soon as the growth is occurring, it is obstructing the urethra. This is normal. See, this is normal. So as soon as growth is occurring, it is obstructing the urethra. Patient can't pass urine. He will run to you, doctor, I can't pass urine. You do something. I'm having dribbling of the urine. Do something. So this is a benign condition, but patient presented to us at an early stage because of having symptoms early. And this is a malignant condition. We want this patient to come early. But here, it is present at the peripheral zone silently. Patient will not have any urinary complaint. He will pass urine normally because the urethra is open till late. जब तक ये इतना बड़ा ना हो जाए कि it involves the urethra, तब तक तो meds हो जाते हैं. So this malignant वाला patient presents late to us. But ulta hona chahiye, ideally it should be flip-flop. But this is the actual scenario. So benign patients presents at early stage to us because the symptoms come in early stage. That's why lobe is important, because here it occurs in transitional zone or medium lobe, and malignant patients presents late to us. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. So that is the whole story. Many more IBQs are there, but you know my time is limited. My hour is over. I've extended it for more hour also, but it is not extending much. So I have to end this, but don't worry, I will take another class on it and other IBQs also. So thank you very much for being with me. I really enjoyed teaching you. I have to end this class here. Let me announce my next class, then people can go. So daily I take 4 classes, but tomorrow there is no class. Due to some urgent work tomorrow, I'm not able to conduct even a single class. So tomorrow on Tuesday, there is no class on Tuesday, first thing. There is no class on Tuesday. On Wednesday, you all are FMG aspirants. Give me a thumbs up if you all are FMGE aspirants. Do you? How many? I want to know the count. FMG aspirants कौन से हैं? तुम में से either this December or next June. Who are FMG? Okay, many of you. Very good, very good. So Wednesday is going to be a mega Wednesday for you people, for all FMG aspirants. Then Wednesday, a day after tomorrow, because on Wednesday I'm going to teach you all PYQs paper-wise. So I will start with pathology on Wednesday. So on Wednesday I have scheduled 5-hour classes for you. One 9 a.m. in the morning, then 10 a.m. in the morning, then 11 a.m. in the morning, back to back, then 3 p.m. in the afternoon, then 4 p.m. in the afternoon. 5 classes for you on this mega Wednesday. So make this Wednesday the most of it. So I will discuss PYQs. So here I will discuss, this is December 2021 now, June 2021, the most recent paper. I will discuss it here. Then December 2020, I will discuss it here. Then June 2020, I will discuss it here. Then December 2019 and June 2019. Anything else you require? You tell me. It is patho. Nearly 15 questions. 15 questions each paper. 50 minute lecture. 15 minute lecture each lecture. 10 minutes का break रहेगा बीच में. Give me a thumbs up if you require anything else. Give me a thumbs up. Do you want anything else apart from it? And if it is successful, if I get a good number of audience, and if you people wish, if you people request, if you people demand, after patho, we can conduct it for pharma also, the same way, the 5 papers, and we can conduct it for micro also, the same way, then PSM, then medicine, one by one, we will take the subjects, and one day, all short subjects together. So we can do it likewise. So your 5 papers will be on the tip of your tongue. We will do it in 1 week time, if it happens. So my only request to all of you to spread this message to all FMG aspirants in your contact. I don't know all FMG aspirants now. I know few of you. You can proliferate it ahead in your batch groups, in your all contacts, your batchmates, all those FMG aspirants who are with you, or your juniors who are doing the exam next June exam. So it is beneficial for them also. Please help me in spreading the message. I will share the links on all social medias, you know, as I do. So that is the thing. Don't forget to give your feedback. If any suggestions, they are always welcome. For more detailed lectures, you are already there on the app. Don't forget to follow my profile link on Unacademy. My name is Dr. Priyanka Sachdev. Search it under educators. You will find my profile link. Just follow it. And please distribute this code to your juniors, your seniors, to all medicos, to your batchmates, everyone. They can download, they can see my free classes using this code. They can unlock the free class using this code. The code is Sachdev10, SACHDEV, Sachdev10 is the code. Please learn the code. So that is the thing. On paid platform, you already know we have two types of subscription: Plus subscription and Iconic subscription. In Plus subscription, you will get only Unacademy live and recorded lectures. In Iconic, along with Unacademy, you will get prep letter access also. So better to go with Iconic. Done. On Plus platform, we have a highly effective updated question bank containing more than 25,000 clinical questions. So you can practice till you become perfect. These are the batches currently available on the Plus platform: one for NEXT, one for FMG, one for INICT, and clinical examination and procedure batches also available there. So you can attend, get the benefit of them. Last two offers for you. If you take a subscription for 12 months, you will get 2 months additional. If you get a subscription for 24 months, you will get 4 months additional. And these are the other, these are all subscriptions available on Iconic and on Plus platform. You can see the price of various subscription. Whatever subscription suits to you, you can take that subscription. You can see longer the subscription, cheaper it is. So if you are a first prof, second prof student, go for a longer subscription, at least 4 year, 3 year, 2 year. And if you are an intern, you can go for 1 month or 3 months also. So whatever subscription you are planning to take for you, you can use my code Sachdev, SACHDEV, Sachdev10 to get 10% discount. So the summary is that the code is useful for both students. Those who want to watch the classes, only free classes, they can unlock the free classes using this code. They can unlock it if they are a first time user. And if someone wants to take the paid subscription, they can use the code for getting discount. You will get 10% discount, maximum discount using this authentic code. So the code is Sachdev10. Please distribute this code to everyone on your batch groups, to all medicos, so everyone get benefited of it. So I'm ending the lecture here. See you in the next class. Next class is on Wednesday. PYQ pathology, morning 9 a.m. June 2021 paper I will start with. Give me a thumbs up and say a bye-bye. Give me a thumbs up. Don't miss that. Morning 9 a.m. All those 5 classes, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. are on Unacademy special platform, special class. None of the classes on YouTube on Wednesday. On Wednesday, all classes on Unacademy special class, free class platform. None of the classes on YouTube. 5 classes Wednesday. See you all on Mega Wednesday. Bye-bye.